Good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office on this Wednesday morning. It's now the 12th day of February 2025, and this is the morning briefing coming from the home weather office. And there are just a couple of clouds outside the home weather office right now, and it's another chilly and frosty morning. But we have much to discuss today. We're going to talk about rain. We're talking about snow. We're going to talk about wind. We're going to talk about thunderstorms. And for some of this, I'm going to take a deep dive. So for those of you that are weather nerds and you like to see all the geeky stuff, well, sit back, have a cup of coffee, because we're going to take a pretty deep dive this morning. All right, let's start with what's going on with the satellite. And as I mentioned at the home weather office, it's mostly sunny right now, but there are clouds just off the coast. So we'll see increasing clouds during the day today. The daylight hours are going to stay dry, but if there's been a trend in the models over the last 24 to 36 hours, it is somewhat faster and somewhat wetter than what we had been thinking a couple of days ago, meaning that the rain will start a little bit earlier, perhaps as early as later on tonight, around 9 or 10 o'clock in many areas, on the coast even sooner, and also a little bit wetter for the valley, not by a lot, but some of the models are trending a little bit wetter, but there's a nice stretch of moisture out here. However, as we talk about these atmospheric river sort of events, to me, this is kind of not the best sort of a version, because you have some moisture here, there's a break, there's some moisture in here. This isn't going to be one of those cases where we just see clouds over the area for days on end with days and days of rain like we've seen a couple of times so far this season, back in November and again a couple of weeks ago. Instead, this is going to be an area where we get some pretty good rain during the day tomorrow, especially tomorrow morning. And then there's a little bit of a break, and then it turns more showery during the day on Friday. So yes, it's an atmospheric river event, but it's also kind of a cold front event. Either way, whatever you want to call it, it's going to rain. All right, we're going to start with the HRRR and get into the rain. Here's that little system that slid down the coast, brought some light rain to Southern California. As we head through the day today, this is around 7 o'clock, around 6 o'clock this evening. It is still dry in the valley. So working outdoors, the commute, all of that, the evening commute, it's all dry. Traveling through the Sierra, touchy mouse this morning. Traveling through the Sierra, it's all dry. So again, that's 6 o'clock this evening. But a couple of hours later, the rain comes in, and this is 9 o'clock. So we start getting rain in the valley after, let's say, 7 or 8 o'clock. Nice rain on the coast, and then later on, the rain turns steadier and we get some snow. This is around midnight. We have snow in the Sierra, probably down to 4,500 feet or lower in Plumas County. I think Plumas County may see snow even below 4,000 for a little while. A little cold air trapped up here. On the west slope of the Sierra, on Interstate 80, Highway 50, 88, and farther to the south on 108, snow level will be around 5,000 to 5,500. And this, again, is at midnight. It'll be raining in the valley, and the winds will start to pick up a little bit as well. Nice rain during the overnight hours. Let's go to 7 a.m. on Thursday. Yeah, it's snowing in the Sierra. The snow levels come up a little bit, maybe as high as 5,500 to 6,000 on the west slope. And again, when I say west slope, I mean 80, 50, 88, that range. A nice gradient in the valley. So for the morning commute on Thursday, you have a southeasterly wind that's gusting over 40 miles an hour. You have rain that's coming down hard, probably in excess of 1/10 of an inch of rain an hour, and sometimes probably at this time, maybe as much as 1/4 of an inch of rain in 1 hour. So you'll start to see standing water on the roadways, and it's windy. Ugh. Yeah, I'm going to be glad I'm going to be in the home weather office on Thursday morning and not on Highway 50 or Interstate 80. Snow in the Sierra be coming down hard. This is Thursday around 10 a.m. But you'll notice there's a little bit of a break here. This is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and as I'll detail in a little bit, what we'll likely see is this colder air comes in. We're going to see a chance of thunderstorms develop in the valley, which again I'll highlight in a minute. But whether it's showers or thunderstorms or just downpours, it'll continue to be showery. So this is 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday. We're seeing breaks, so it's not continuous rain, but it's going to be cool, it's going to be breezy, and it's going to be showery with periods of heavy rain This is Friday, I should say Thursday night around 8 o'clock in the evening. It's still breezy. It's snowing in the Sierra, and the snow will continue into the day Friday. But for the valley, the rain will be very hit and miss. The west slope will stay pretty wet, and at this time, the snow level will be solid around 5,000 feet. All right, I'm on the HRRR here, so I'm just going to show a couple of products here. So we'll do total snow accumulation, and this is through Friday morning. This is probably a little on the high side, and you can see many areas here are coming up around, well, this one's saying 104 inches. That's too high. But certainly by Thursday morning, I should say Friday morning, we will have 2 to 3 feet of snow in the high Sierra, and down around 5,000 feet, we'll see maybe around 8 to 10 inches with a little bit of snow down at 4,000, but I have a feeling you're going to see too much rain mix in at 4,000 to have to worry about shoveling it. And through Friday morning, this model shows 1.61 over Sacramento. Other models are over 2. But certainly don't have to go very far to the east into the foothills, even the lower foothills, where you have 3-4 inches of rain. I'd include Placerville and Jackson and Sonora in that. Grass Valley, Nevada City, probably closer to the 4 inches of rain. And again, this is just through Friday morning. We'll continue to see some rain during the day Friday. But with this sort of water, we'll see some pretty good snow develop in the Sierra as well. And then in terms of wind, let's use this model to show wind gusts. And I'll back this up a little bit. So let's see, this is late tonight. I mentioned being on the road first thing on Thursday morning. Here, this is in the morning. We have winds gusting around 30, but it's going to be stronger on the east side of the valley, the lower foothills. This model is a little bit weaker than some others, showing winds gusting maybe 40, 42. I would think that Sacramento County, Southwest Placer County, as well as El Dorado County, San Joaquin County, and the adjacent foothills will have the potential to see winds gusting 45 to 50. So there could be some minor damage with those sorts of winds, especially on Thursday morning. The winds will taper somewhat, coming below that damaging level during the afternoon and evening, but it will stay breezy. But if we're going to see any damaging winds, potential power outages, tree limbs down, it's generally going to be on Thursday morning. Obviously, much windier in the Sierra, as you can see here. Winds on the crest of the Sierra will be gusting much, much higher. All right, that's the way the HRRR shows it. And I'll probably go back to the HRRR here in a little bit. I do want to show the NAM version of this because this will show us through the day on Friday. So this model, very good agreement, showing the wind and the rain coming through on Thursday. Thursday afternoon turns showery. Then during the day Friday, this is Friday at 7 a.m. As you can see, much of the valley here is dry. The west slope is wet, and it's snowing in the Sierra. One of those classic days where people will be caught off guard. In the valley, it's not doing anything, but the road in the Sierra above 5,000 feet will be snowy. And since it'll be a couple of feet of snow, if not more, the travel will just be a mess. This is 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday. This is 4 p.m. on Friday, still snowing. And yeah, for a lot of people, it's a long weekend coming up, so we are going to see a lot of traffic heading into the Sierra, and it's just going to be a mess. It'll be a great weekend to be in the Sierra because by Saturday, everything is dry. So if you want to head into the mountains for Saturday, it'll be great, but if you're going up Friday, not so great. All right, I want to talk about the possibility of thunderstorms. And so for that, I'm going to back up here a little bit. So this is a snapshot of early on Thursday morning. Now I'm going to go up to 500 millibars here. So we're going to go up to, nope, that's 700 millibars. I want 500 millibars temperature. All right. Nope, no, back here. This is the one I want. Sorry about that. All right, so this is Thursday morning. And what we have here is as the system comes in, and these are the temperatures up around 18,000 feet. So around minus 16. All right, just take that as a relative. All right, it's minus 16. As we head through the morning, this is 4 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. Now the temperature is dropping down to minus 19. And that's why I say this, to me, looks more like a nice wet cold front as opposed to an atmospheric river. I mean, we have the nice change in temperatures here. We go from the warm to the cold. But the key that I always look at here, is the timing of colder air aloft. And so as we head through, this is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The temperature now is around minus 22, minus 23. So we've gone from minus 16 to minus 23. So what we're getting here is cold air advection aloft. And if you want instability, if you want thunderstorms, you want a big contrast between the temperature at the surface and the temperature aloft, as well as some moisture, because you start lifting moisture and you're going to get some lift because it's colder aloft, warm air rises, and the colder air is aloft, the steeper the lapse rate, so you're going to get a chance of thunderstorms. All right, stand by because we're about to take the deep dive. All right, I'm now going to show you the NAM nest. So this is the high resolution NAM, and I'm going to back up here to around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And actually, I'm going to shift off of this product to the simulated reflectivity. Now let's go through this, because instead of showing you where it's raining, where it's snowing, this is just kind of how your radar would look theoretically. All right, so here's your solid rain that goes through in the morning. It tapers, and then into the afternoon, you start having these little spots here and a pretty good line here. And it's along and ahead of that line, you'll have the possibility of maybe having some thunderstorms. So this is where that instability comes in. So this is the time that cold air is moving in, and we have very cold air aloft. And so you have the possibility, this is around 5 o'clock, we have these little cells here that could easily be thunderstorms with perhaps a little bit of hail involved. All right, so let's take a look at how this looks aloft. And for that, we're into the deep dive now. So what I'm showing you here is a theoretical sounding of how this looks aloft. The red line is the temperature, and the green line is the dew point. So you'll see that those two lines are aligned right in here. And we do have so solid humidity, so solid cloud deck basically from the ground, the surface, all the way up to here, which is, let's ballpark that around 780 millibars, 750 millibars, something like that. And then that gives you, all the way up to, let's say, 8,000 feet, where you're just in solid cloud, and that means you're getting some really good rain. Then there's a dry area, and then we get back into some more clouds above 500 millibars. So from 18,000 feet, probably up to about 25,000 feet, you have another cloud deck. Now there's another interesting little spot right here. So this little spot right here, this yellow area in here. What is that trying to tell us? What is this model trying to tell us with this yellow bar in here? Well, let's take a look at what that means. These dotted lines this way are the temperatures. So this line right here, this diagonal line, that is 0 degrees C, and then this line is 10, minus 10, and then this line here is minus 20. Interesting spot here for that. All right, this does give us a little bit of a reader as to what that is. Come on. Don't like it when my pages don't cooperate. Okay, I'm gonna have to move this over a little bit and then move it here. Yeah, there we go. All right, so what that tells us here is it's the dendritic growth zone, minus 12 to minus 17 statistics. So that is where you are getting snow formation. So right here, this is where your snow zone. So in other words, it would be snowing here, but because the snow has to fall through this layer here where it's 0 degrees and into the warmer air down below, this is again for the valley. I hate it when my pages do this. The recent upgrade on my computer did this. I don't know why. So what this tells you is the best guess for precipitation type is rain. Okay? I'm going to get back to this in a little bit. Now, I also called up one of these for an area in the Sierra. So let's see what that sounding looks like. That sounding also has this area of yellow showing the dendritic growth zone, so where you're getting these big, fat, wet snowflakes, which is what you want to see. And notice here that the temperature and the dew point are well aligned, but it's also, this is farther up the hill, the surface temperature is 34, so what this model then tells us is that the best guess of precip type is snow, and because you have this humidity and temperature aligned, let me move this over so you can see it, the temperature and humidity are aligned in the dendritic growth zone, you're getting snow, and that stays as snow throughout the column, so it's snowing, and it's snowing hard. All right, I want to go back to this sounding because there's something else on this one. This is, again, for the valley, where we have this sounding here. We also have a lot of instability. And we also take a look at something over here called a hodograph. And this estimates how your parcel will travel as it goes aloft. And for that, you're also looking at these winds aloft over here, how the wind is changing direction with height. And so this, again, this is just a model output, but what this would tell you is that it says it's marginal severe, potential hazard type, it's a marginally severe thunderstorm. What I would take out of this is that when we do get the thunderstorms developing in this environment, that they'll produce some heavy rain, maybe some small hail, but it would be heavy downpours, and you'd have to have a lot of things go right. But there is the possibility, because that hodograph is curved in the right way, you do have spinning aloft, is that you could have funnel clouds or that sort of thing. Again, that's a pretty, everything would have to go right. We're also going to have enough clearing during this phase of the system here, after we have the heavy rain in the morning. We're going to have some sunshine come out to start to heat the surface just a little bit. Even an hour or two of sun would do it. And then that would give this next line everything it needs to produce some thunderstorms that could be marginally severe and maybe even produce a funnel cloud or something like that. So, for a meteorologist, this is a fun sort of case to look at and to forecast. It's just that tomorrow is going to be a busy day. All right, I'm going to go back to the NAM. I know I'm jumping all over the place here, but I'm going to go back to the NAM to talk about precipitation and total precip accumulation. And let's see, that's through Thursday afternoon as we head into the day on Friday. This model, again, a little bit lower than some others, showing about 1.3 inches of rain. If I show, let's see, we should have 6-hour precip. I think there is going to be a period where we get some heavy rain. Oh, man. There is going to be a period here where we are going to see some heavier rain. So I'm showing you here our 6-hour totals. And so this is first thing on Thursday morning. So it's showing in the previous 6 hours, Sacramento has 0.67 inches of rain, Chico has over an inch, and in the foothills, 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inches of rain in 6 hours. Because of that, we have the possibility of standing water on the roads, creeks will come up and that sort of thing. However, if you're worried about rivers, and the river we always look to because it's an uncontrolled river, is the Cosumnes. Now, right now, it's well below monitor stage, which is this line here, and then that stays throughout the day to tomorrow morning. And then after tomorrow morning, we get that inflow from all the water coming down in El Dorado and Amador County, and then so it spikes up to 7.5 feet. That's the current forecast, and that's as of Friday morning. That is at monitor stage, but that's still well within its banks, and that's not a threat to anybody downstream at Wilton. However, nearby and parallel to this is Deer Creek, which just a week ago or so went over its banks over Scott Road, and will likely do that again. So streams and creeks will come up, and because we could have the possibility of having, a heavy rain first thing in the morning, more than 1/10 of an inch an hour, and in some places in the foothills and into areas like Paradise, probably 1/4 of an inch of rain an hour for 6 or 7 hours. That's how you will get some street flooding and that sort of thing. But main stem rivers will all be okay. So let's see. I'm trying to think if I got to everything. So the rain starts later on tonight. Heaviest for Thursday morning, turning showery in the afternoon, and Friday's on again, off again, showery. Talked about the impacts of that with street flooding, but main stem rivers are fine, and even the Cosumnes is going to be fine. Snow. Elevations above 7,000 feet. Ski resorts, 3 to 4 feet of snow. This is going to be a great snow producer, probably some of the best snow we've seen so far this year at the highest elevations. The elevation between 5,000 and 6,000 may mix in with a little bit of rain from time to time, and that'll keep the totals there down. And while we could see some snow down at 4,000, and for that I mean in areas like Pollock Pines and Arnold, so we're talking about the I-80 to Highway 88 corridor and Highway 108 corridor, those areas at 4,000 feet may see an inch of snow, but you're also going to see a lot of rain mixed in as well. So I don't think you're going to be shoveling at those elevations. It just, you could see that rain snow mix or get some slush eventually. And anything below 4,000 feet will all be rain. So let's see, the wind. Wind. Winds will be gusting. Strongest winds will be Thursday morning, likely gusting 45 to 50 on the east side of the valley. So I'd include those of you in Placer County. So Lincoln, Roseville, Rockland, Loomis, El Dorado County, Cameron Park, Shingle Springs, El Dorado Hills, and into Sacramento County, Folsom, Rancho Cordova, and downtown Sacramento. And then farther to the south, Ione and Valley Springs will all see winds that'll be gusting in that 45-50 range, but tapering in the afternoon. And then thunderstorms. That is going to be the wild card for tomorrow afternoon, with the possibility of maybe getting some downpours and small hail and perhaps even a funnel cloud. But it's going to be a fun day for meteorologists, not a fun day to be out traveling, especially if you're trying to go through the Sierra. So that's everything I got for you this morning. By the way, the weekend is dry. Hope you enjoyed the deep dive. Hope you had a nice cup of coffee with that. Make it a great day. I'll talk with you later.